Alright guys, so let's go back, starting back from 8. Now, uses for commas also could be used for conjunctions. Now let's quickly look at what a conjunction is. A conjunction is a linking word or phrase that links two complete thoughts into a single sentence. So again, a conjunction is a linking word or phrase that links two complete thoughts into a single sentence. One example: the dance was done, comma, but not a soul walked towards the doors. You can either do your laundry, comma, or you can stay in your room.
So always there's a comma after but or.
Typically, yes. And works a little different, because if you have a list of 2, you say, like my favorite one, peanut butter and jelly. There's no comma in between because it's just a list of 2. So you just put the and in there. Or if it's a list of 2, you can say you can have peanut butter or jelly, and or is still correct without the comma. But if you say you can have peanut butter, comma, but not jelly, that's where a comma comes in. So, sorry guys. Just read that over for a second. That's Janet. Alright, guys. The boss summoned. Alright, so let's look at. Okay. So, commas again. Separate non-essential elements. Commas, okay. Also separate non-essential elements. This is where commas are used kind of like parentheses to note something as an aside. Okay, so when you say note something as an aside, more like it's in the sentence, but it wasn't necessarily needed. It's more like that extra information, or by as a matter of fact. So, for example, Peter, who was a fine marksman, hit the center of the target with no trouble at all. Now, could the sentence still be a complete thought if we just said Peter hit the center of the target with no trouble at all? Yes. So, who was a fine marksman is pretty much, that's the reason why the commas are before and after that phrase, because it's a non-essential part of the sentence. It is not needed to make a complete thought. Any questions on that? Claude?
At what time? Because when I write stuff, I try to make as much expression or try to give as much detail as I can. When is it best not to include information like that?
You mean non-essential elements?
Yeah.
Too much detail.
Right. Good answer.
Like too much detail.
Good answer. It's a really good answer. Thank you. That sums it up. And she's exactly right. When giving too much detail, again, if you have enough to give the complete thought, there's no need to be wordy. So particularly when you're talking in business, okay, you want to get straight into the point. For example, if you want to say Claude, our CEO, instituted a new rule about the new recycling procedure. Okay,
Don't you think that's important?
our
To know that the
CEO.
person that initiated what you call him is the CEO.
If it was a company-wide email, you should already know who the CEO is. If this was a company-wide correspondence, and we say Claude Harris, comma, our CEO, comma, recently instituted a new policy on our new recycling procedure. Now, again, you can say Claude Harris, comma, our new CEO, CFO, and our Joint Chief of Staff. Again, that's becoming too wordy, too much detail. Okay, again, it doesn't take away from the sentence, it's just adding too much to it. Because the meat of the sentence is about the new policy on the recycling procedure. So all those non-essential things in there at that point become unnecessary. I know you want to give emphasis on the title, but the sentence is not about the person's title. You have to see what the sentence is about.
Okay. All right. I was getting ready to go somewhere else.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
Now let's talk about those semicolons we brought up earlier. Okay, semicolons are used as if they were soft periods. Soft periods. Okay, they're not to be used as if they were commas. Ever. For example, you wouldn't say Joey's birthday party had cake, semicolon, ice cream, semicolon, soda, semicolon, and a piñata. You wouldn't use semicolons there. Because again, it's not a soft period. That's a list, so a list becomes commas.
Let's go back to the one we was discussing earlier. The sentence that we was discussing where we just started a new sentence.
I'm not certain what you're referring to.
day, we couldn't justify the expense of the dancing bear. Was that it?
Okay, at the end of the day, comma.
Right.
That wouldn't be a semicolon. Because first of all, if you say at the end of the day, that's a fragment.
Okay.
So that part by itself is a fragment. So you would get a green squiggly in word because of the grammar. Okay, semicolons can only be used when both halves of the sentences could stand on their own.
Meaning?
I knew he was gonna say that. Meaning, if you separated the two halves before the semicolon, if you look at the statement before it and you look at the statement after it, could they be two sentences by themselves independently? And right below it, he gives you an example. He says sentence, comma, sentence, meaning if the colon wasn't there and you substituted a period, could they both stand by themselves? This is done to show the close relationship between the subjects. Okay, so let's look at the examples. Ms. Sanchez is a successful real estate salesperson. However, she was unable to sell her own house. Now, read the statement before the semicolon. Ms. Sanchez is a successful real estate salesperson. Is that a complete thought?
Yeah.
Rita?
Yeah.
Veronica? Right. Because the noun is Sanchez, the verb is what? Is. Now let's read the second half. However, she was unable to sell her own house. Is that a complete thought?
Yeah.
Yes. What is the noun?
She.
What is the verb?
Was.
Was.
What?
Was.
Sound would be right.
No. She was just unable to sell at that point in something else. Fool.
Now, you don't necessarily have to have a conjunction in there when you use that semicolon, right?
Even though, however, is a conjunction, right?